fascinating Democratic delegate from Minnesota who says this has no place for me as a
Take it away, Ed. Here's Johnny. Hello. Hello, that is. Did I say hello? Let's say hello. I think I said hello. Well, if I didn't, so I say so now. You know, because as I had informed you all personally before, that I will not any longer employ the usages of, or to use this, if you say, the greeting word of hello anymore after having read this one article authored by the writer of it, who was saying in more words or less that when one person greets another individual with the greeting word of hello, that supposedly what one is doing is wishing a curse upon another individual person, being that because the root word of the greeting word of hello is that of hell, which is to be translated to be defined as meaning a place of torment. So sorry about that if I did use that word, the greeting word, that particular one, which I haven't used in quite a while since the last time, believe it or not, because I have substituted it with or replaced it being with the one of halo. Two different spellings and practically two different meanings altogether. You know. But then I will continue to greet others with the other greeting words of hey and hi. So how are you all doing, everybody? Sorry. I have quite a bit of a rash. I have to look into that sometime. That's being of another physical, medical health issue. Well, hopefully everyone is doing okay, if not better yet, to be said, to be feeling all right, or if not best of all, to be said, to be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly become or be stressed. You and yours, your family, friends, and hopefully me and mine, likewise as well, or all the same. I'm going to have to get a haircut sometime. Maybe a little trim on the mustache and beard. Get it cut off altogether. Yes. Well, hopefully you all are feeling much better than what I myself am feeling like as a pregnant all the time. Yeah. I have been feeling quite up under the weather lately. Being of some such as is the case of situation up under rather extenuating circumstances of the condition. I'm wondering what is going on. If somebody else attempted to sabotage my general health in one regard or another, physically and mentally. Other than just a proverbial neighbor from down hell here and there, like some of the kind, with or without one's confidence crying, like certain doctors and nurses in different hospitals, and for auxiliary medical clinics. I feel that associated with representing this change, the said question of the former period of province, and moving right along. And now that I've gotten the preliminaries out the way, the basic intro as an introduction and or the footnotes. And please, if you're one of those internet troll wacko jobs, crackpots or cranks, lunatics and maniacs, bit of whom could possibly have to reflect upon the characters of the likes of the proverbial neighbors from down hell, of social rejects, who assume that strength or power is to display all that weakness on their parts, to attempt to, antagonize, agitate, aggravate, frustrate, or to throw a monkey wrench in another neighbor's or other neighbors' survival plans for the program at hand to be about, for their own personal existence, for our own personal existence, you know, then please could you like take it on elsewhere? I'm not interested, you know. You live beneath your privileges. The right to privileges to represent the better half of society, you know, being a civilized persons. Okay? I don't know what your problem is. I'm not trying to find out because, especially with where I've been feeling like lately, I'm having that much more of a zero tolerance for anybody else's ignorance, insanity, or impoliteness, or other stupidity, sickness, and rudeness. You know, with me feeling quite up under the weather. Well, hopefully not that much more like so. You know, quite then. To feel very much like so. God forbid. You know. And so my tolerance level for others is really at an all-time low. You know. Besides all that, I'm not a licensed shrink. So, you know, if you want to vent, you know, take to one of them. You know, being the medical community that deals in head injuries, if you know what I mean, read between the lines, filling the blanks, or who deal with persons suffering from severe mental disorders or serious mental problems, you know, then because that would be the best thing, you know, for you to do. Then it come on my page or, you know, into my channel and or chat room conversation and get to venting, and then from there, where you could possibly find yourself being sent on a one-way trip to the can or the crazy house or both, after I could possibly drop a dime on you to let the boys in blue know that you are really mouthing off like one of the usual suspects or public enemy number ones. I don't want to have to do that to anybody. I mean, if you come in here, respect me as well as respect my social media channel and likewise chat room comment section, then we won't have a problem, regardless of whether or not you could possibly be a closet psychopath or sociopath of a Hannibal Lecter wannabe, or could possibly be, you know, from a mass murderer to a serial rapist, whatever. And I wouldn't know that. Hopefully I would not ever find out, because I do believe in alerting the law enforcement community, especially when it comes to the likes of any of the rank and file, the usual suspects and public enemy number ones, for those being the last mentioned. Feel free to you know, read the basic intro or introduction as well, the footnotes. But then the present social media broadcast subject matter topic of discussion is regarding making reference to, as it is dealing with that last mention, you know, so far as the likes of any closet sexual predators, rapists, or worse yet, pedophiles, you know. Was I had got the idea to produce this, compose or produce this one social media broadcast. So pardon me for getting butchering the English language of American dialects. You know, for the present content, you know, to be discussed, being of a social issue or social plague upon our own American society, and as it is being experienced worldwide or upon a global level, internationally. Well, first of all, only after I speak in this regard, you know, before I were to lead up to that. You know, what's wrong with the woman of today? You know, whereas they're so independent and they're no longer, not much of any, are making any plans for having themselves become available for a marriage proposal, then because they are that much more lacking romance and are much more promiscuous. Not that I was meaning to sound seem like I'm straying from the original topic of discussion of the subject matter at hand, like I'm wagging the dog or something. Wagging the dog means changing the subject. God forbid. I mean, anyway, though, getting back to what I was trying to say, whereas they have gone all out their way to become so independent and to empower themselves, not just of the lesbians, either. And whereas one of their chief weapons in their artillery, against the opposite sex is to use their blessed endowments, read between the lines, fill in the blanks, so far as what makes them woman, a born and raised female person representing the opposite sex, as in boobs, beavers, and badunkers, in back, and with there being that much more of an increased promiscuity level, especially with this global pandemic still being as it is. I don't care what anybody says, it's still pretty much so, a repeat one that had happened a century ago. It would take some decades or rather years. Here it is. They are posting nudies of themselves, or semi-nudies, especially that much more nudies of themselves, to practically or possibly complete strangers of males representing the opposite sex, whereas they're not even going about a reasonable time frame period before they were to, take out the big guns and do something like that, and just think how that would open up some kind of a Pandora's box, because you never know whether or not, I'm saying, as a born and raised female person representing the opposite sex of a woman, you never know whether or not the male you become interested in could possibly be some kind of a closet rapist, or worse yet, a closet pedophile. And you're sending all kinds of from semi-nude pics and vids, or photos or photographs, or pictures and video exposing your private parts, to literal actual nude material of yourself. You're like, look at this here. And it would bring out the dog, in more than quite a few males, that much more nowadays. And as more of us males representing the opposite sex could that much more in this global pandemic be of the likes of closet male sexual predators, closet male pedophiles, worse yet, I mean, usually if a male representing the opposite sex is pressuring a female or a woman to send nudes of oneself, or semi-nudes, at least until one could push the ante to try to get a female or woman to send little actual nude photos and videos of oneself, then, that should be a red flag right there, whereas a light bulb should come on in a born and raised female person of a woman's head that male could care little or nothing about you. He just looking at you as a sex object to be gratified or satisfied by with. In the meantime, he wants you to send him the nudes, or at least semi-nudes, until he could convince you to send the nudes, worse yet, so that he can get his rocks off up until the time that he would attempt to push the ante and hope that he could hop in the sack with you for little or nothing to really, get jiggy with it otherwise in a more physical way with you, not just to be like, having all these sexual fantasies about you as you be looking at your, your pics and vids or pictures and videos, pictures and the photos, videos that you would have sent of yourself, and, like choking this chick and jacking off. Oh yeah, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh. Oh, baby girl, woman. Well, I can't wait to get together with you in a physical way. Yeah, that's it. Some more or something. So, yeah. Oh, I really like this one. Oh, I love this one. Oh, better yet, this other one. And then bust that nut in his hand, looking at your news. Any female or woman that would, fall prey to that, become game. It would go without saying, as well as go double, triple, be said, that you're living beneath your privileges, the rights and privileges to represent real womanhood, Whereas you may as well be a lesbian, for I'm concerned. Or, transsexual, transgender, or female impersonator, or faggot, or homo. I'm not trying to sound or seem like I'm a card carrying member to the Westville Baptist Church with its blasphemously religious social media blog, website, or email at www.godhatesfags.com. Because as I understand it, God, in my own understanding, he himself doesn't or don't hate faggots. If anything, he just hates their blasphemous alternative lifestyle preference. And so much for that conversation. That outcome. Sound like Elmer Fudd /Moon. I'm not even like the best. I mean, like Ronald Reagan. See what I mean? Yeah. Then I don't want to sound off otherwise either. It seems like I'm, somebody that is spreading false information and speaking in Dugar in reference to the jab. Now, I'm not saying that I'm for it, but then I'm not saying that I'm against it either. But until I get more information about it, hopefully not one single doctor or nurse had given it to me without my, as well as without my permission. Then I'm in the neutral zone at the moment, and so much for that conversation. I'm not taking any pros and cons of that argument. And moving right along and getting back to the original topic of discussion. What is that at hand? So what do you all think about that? If a female or woman sends even so much as semi-nudes of herself, or worse yet, little actual, nudies of herself via electronic frequency transmission, some kind, sort or type of device, then if she were to become subject to experiencing the ramifications, the repercussions behind that in the future, if it could possibly become a hit in cyberspace to be shared with God only knows how many countless other males, then you are partly responsible for, the serious consequences of your person as a female, born and raised female person or woman having done that, You cannot lay the blame altogether on the male that made a request of you to send him some or such, You're partly responsible for whatever severe or serious consequences, whereas your picture or photo and video of your semi-nude and nude material could be sent all throughout cyberspace. Because once it's out there to stay. It doesn't or don't disappear. And I would think that I pretty much don't know that from my own personal experience. As I still have, even so, quite a few semi-graphic porn accounts, and then little actual worse yet, really graphic porn accounts. There's soft porn and there's hard porn. And at one given time or another, I had sent something like from a couple or few pics, a few vids, as in pictures and vids, photos and videos, exposing myself, you know, leaving little or nothing to the imagination. But for, female voyagers or whatever races, as a means of sending out a sexual flirt to let them know that I'm interested. Be black or white or Asian or Hispanic or whatever race, or green moon Martian from outer space in human form of the feminine gender, whereas I want to reintroduce my what you would call it, my sauces, take it out of its package, or want to reintroduce my meatloaf to a woman's oven, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm ready to get back into circulation. How dry I am. Water, how dry. Please help me wet my whistle. So I was thinking, as the lesser two being a problem, I'm not thinking like that now. I'm trying to get back right with God. What I'm saying, I mean, and I would have jumped at the chance, like snap, crackle, and pop. Like the very minute, at the drop of a hat, just hop, or rather dive in the bed with a born and raised female person representing the opposite sex of a woman, or whatever race, be she black or white, and be she married or not, and to get my juggy on, but hopefully with the use of protection, as in rubbers, than to go in the raw. Because I never really was for that kind of action, knowing how much more there's a stronger strain of the different STDs or VDs, and I never really had much of a problem with that, But I'm not saying, as a matter of figure of speech and then some for the sake of argument. I mean, there were times in the past I would have hopped in the sack or dived in the bed with a woman that could possibly prove to be to my liking, be she married or not, whatever race and whatever walk of life, who is not, a lesbian or a transsexual, transgender, or female impersonator, or a fag or homo, and just hop in the sack with her like nobody business and get my freak on, hopefully only with rubber. And be she married or not, I wouldn't have cared if she was married. Well, though that would, I would. Don't get me wrong, not to mean to contradict myself. I'm butchering the English American. English, say what I mean, the English language American data. Although I would more prefer that she be single rather than me saying be married. Though I would. Even so, think to mess around with a married woman. But in times like these, we need a savior, And a ricochet, don't really have a name on it, or to get stabbed with one of them stigma jigs. That I don't get popped by a 6-shooter is not exactly my cup of tea. So I would much rather prefer a single lady or a woman that's not attached than a woman that's married or even so much as have a boyfriend, because you know how it is. There's trouble in paradise. And for that Pandora's box, opening up a can of worms. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would hop in the sack, be ready to engage in a sexual marathon with any woman to my liking, be she black or white. I would have been humping and pumping. I've been poking and stroking, humping and pumping like a mad dog, foam at the mouth, with rabies, especially in the doggy style and spread eagle style sexual position with a woman. Being a couple, some are such better sexual positions compared to other ones. I'm like, oh, but I don't have to do that today. Or for the present, with me trying to get right with God, especially with my person feeling up on the weather anyway, and and so my mental faculties, I may not be as focused. And I'm thinking about something else of medical symptoms of a health issue of an ailment or malady, and I may not perform like I'm sexually, and then you never know if rubbers could bust and all that. You know what I'm saying? But getting back to some of such original topic discussion, the subject matter at hand, and before I were to conclude these matters, as I was saying, I mean, these women, black, white, etc., they're so independent and they're so much more promiscuous nowadays. So, how much more you would think, their rival counterparts of men are? I mean, sending nudies of themselves, from sending pics and vids from semi-nudes to little actual nude pictures and videos or photos and videos of themselves, that much more on the electronic device, and be it a cell phone or a computer, and send it to some such possible and potential male candidates or future lovers or future sexual partner, or what they call future fuck buddies. Let me scratch that. Sorry about that. Future lovers or future sexual partners, or put it mildly, future bedside companions or future bed bunk buddies of males representing opposite sex. And you don't know if that male could be a closet rapist, or worse yet, a closet pedophile of a sexual predator that could be choking this chicken like a mad dog from it. I was raised while looking at your pics and vids. Even so, a semi-nude ones, not to mention that much more of little actual nudies. Like, I got to get together with this one. I might add another notch to my belt. Being of the likes of a male warlord, seeing a full moon at night, ready to vamp upon a 5 feet line once again, to do just that, add another notch to one's belt. A warlord, as in closet rapist, or shit, closet pedophile. So you ladies, if any of you all could check out this here particular present social media broadcast of Beat on Mine, think about what I said, that much more. And if any of you gentlemen could possibly be of the likes of those closet warlords, then my advice to you is to stop it. Stop it while you're ahead. You're ahead if you haven't gone to jail as yet for that, or if you have gone to jail and is out, don't do it again. Because the next time you go to jail, you may go there for a longer period of time for that kind of, hate crime of a sexual nature, so far as that of actions of snatching a female's panties. It's bad enough when certain Catholic priests, not all Catholic priests, but certain Catholic priests are into boys. And you males that have never done that before, you obviously know not to romance the thought of, contemplating for the first time to snatch a female's or a woman's panties, Then getting back to your woman. So y'all be careful how you seeing, pics and vids, pictures and videos, or photos and videos of yourselves. It don't matter, even if it be semi-nude material, especially if you, worse yet, little actual nudies of yourselves, exposing your private parts, leaving little or worse yet, nothing to the imagination, because you never know whether or not you could encounter a closet sexual predator, animal monster, one of them werewolves, seeing a full moon at night, ready to vamp upon a 5 feet line, scoping, stalking, then preying upon the likes of y'all use much rather than to think of it with mind's intention to get to praying with you otherwise. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Read between lines, fill in the blanks, and like the Madonna stalker. Then on the last note of interest, I like to conclude by saying, as I would usually open up a video, with the basic introduction, then follow with the footnotes, then get the broadcast and the content. Then last but not least, I will come to a conclusion by saying, even if I prepare for you, not for exactly that is. If you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I would hope that you would think to do so now, while the blood is still running warm in your veins, by recognizing or realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary on the hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of some Roman soldiers upon the orders of their superiors, religious, political, militaristic, and etc. Especially when it comes to likes of the religious Pharisees and Sadducees. But then, nevertheless, he went to that cross of Calvary to be crucified between two thieves on the hill of Golgotha, to suffer at their hands so that he himself could possibly be the perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me. Don't steal my trademark physical gesture. Equal hand job. I'm going to have to copyright this sometime so that any of us, whatsoever reason, whatever walks of life, fashion of society, lifestyle preferences, the old and young, like both two sexual genders, representing as we are associated with not only the human species, but then nevertheless the global community within this post-911 era of a new millennium, or the apocalyptic day and age, where the doomsday clock is now at a few minutes to midnight, compared on our 400 period or prior to the end with a quarter of midnight for these rather biblically prophetic time. To pardon, for butchering the English language, American dialect. But as many of us were to think of it with a serious mind's intention, with a mind and heart to seriously profess faith in him, it's more heart knowledge than mind knowledge. Because we have to walk by faith and just put our trust in the Lord, not try to figure out what's going to become of us, whether or not professing faith in God is a little actual plan for a program of resistance for our own personal survival that would benefit us more than just remaining an unbeliever. Trust me, it will benefit you more as a believer. And not just a higher power, but the higher power as he is. Where once you were to profess faith in him, you will have that fire insurance for the lake of fire down hell that nobody else can could possibly provide for you. I don't care what Oprah Winfrey said. All roads do not lead to heaven. All roads may lead to the Devil and Demon Church, the Catholic Church, and the Papacy of Vatican City, Rome, Italy, from wherever country or nation, but don't lead to heaven. All the false religions and so forth. Well, once you were to profess faith in Christ being who is the only way into the kingdom of heaven, from there you become to be blessed from one God and another, and more is one. First and foremost, with his salvation, which is of him, or the only means by which you can or could probably become a citizen in the kingdom of heaven. That is his blood sacrifice. And the second always you would be blessed down here upon the planet Earth. Whereas you would have that insurance for the afterlife or hereafter to be among other like-minded believers in God, saved by the grace of God, grace and mercy, and God, and in the presence of God and his angels, whereas you don't have to worry about ending up in the lake of fire damn hell to be damned for all eternity with the rest of the unsaved out there human souls. Take care. Peace.